Okay, that was not the degrees outside. That's the oven. We're using the outside.
That's how we're gauging the oven temperature.
No, baking,
it's not. But we could make pie outside because it's that hot.
It is.
She is a chef and baker who is committed to the art and the science. Dan Kohler, you will love this. To mouth-watering baked goods. Please welcome Chef Rose Lawrence to our kitchen.
Yay!
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I'm going to out you really quick. So you went to UCLA. You went to law school at UCLA.
I did.
So how many years of schooling was that?
That's a good 7-year commitment right there.
Okay, and how much money was that?
Really a lot.
And then you woke up one day and made a cupcake, and you said, you know what? I'm going to make baked goods instead.
Yeah, actually, I'd been making cupcakes all along the while. It's how I got my Senate seat in law school. I don't think it was my platform. It was definitely the cupcakes.
You bribed people with cupcakes.
Yeah, well, I think, it's nonpartisan, so across the board, everyone likes a cupcake. Easy to vote for that.
That's true. You make a lot of people more happy with cupcakes than you would in a courtroom.
We bring together. So when I graduated, I think that was where my joy was, and that's where I went.
And you actually are taking... yeah, I know. I appreciate that, right? Do what your heart says.
Totally.
And you take a healthier approach to baking.
Absolutely. So my approach is whole grains, best ingredients possible, and obviously moderation. And a lot of this came from the fact that right around the time I was graduating, I got the news from my doctor that I couldn't eat a whole host of things, including bread. I mean, that's the huge culprit right now. And it just seemed crazy to me because I didn't even eat a lot of bread, and then other cultures eat a ton of bread. So, the lawyer in me was like, wait a tick, let's find out more. And I cracked that secret, and that's kind of the approach I use for all our baked goods, our bread, our sourdough bread.
That's beautiful. So you make healthier bread now.
Yeah, so this is fully fermented, so you can eat it, and it tastes fantastic. And we put that same process into our pies and our cookies so that everything tastes better and it's more digestible.
I know, this is very exciting. Yeah, we get into the pie.
Yeah, let's get into the pie.
Where's the pie? Bring in the pies. Here they come. They're going to bring in the pies, and we're going to start making the pie. Okay, today we're making your amazing, famous, it's famous now because I said it, chocolate transparent pie.
Yeah.
What do we need and what do we got to do?
Soon to be famous for everyone because, like I said, this combines pie and chocolate. So how
and
can you
goodness.
go wrong? And goodness.
And health.
And goodness. So right in front of me, I've got the ingredients I need. I've got some melted chocolate with a little butter, some cocoa powder, eggs, sugar, cream, salt, and I'm just going to mix it together.
So everything together?
Yeah, everything together. So we're going to start here with our eggs. Ooh, yeah, sous chef it up for me.
Sous chef it. Let me know if I'm doing anything wrong.
No, you keep going, and I'm going to add your sugar in.
Look at that.
And you're just going to whisk that all together. And it should seem like a little bit of a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
But again,
what am I putting in my mouth?
And it's healthy.
It's healthy. It's healthy. We are using a raw cane sugar. Yeah, we're using a raw cane sugar. And we're using some cream and some salt, some sea salt. So really try to find the best thing because if you start with great ingredients, it's really hard to end up with something that doesn't taste awesome.
Exactly.
And you are doing such an amazing job at this. We're really getting it frothy and together. You just want to let that sugar melt a little. And then I'm adding some sea salt in, and I like to use sea salt because it has a wonderful minerality and it tastes less like
Hold on, what salt? What salt?
Sea salt.
Sea salt. Sea salt. Okay.
All right, so now that we got all that mixed up, we're going to take our chocolate, which we melted with a little butter, and I'm going to add in our cocoa powder just to sort of double down on how chocolatey this is.
I love that.
That's amazing.
And do you know what's great about, we were talking about during the break, we were speaking about the fact that when you use whole products, you don't feel like you're missing out on something. You can have a few bites and you feel satiated.
Yeah.
All this fat-free stuff, I'm not a fan of.
I'm not for it, because I think that our mouth knows better than our brain, and so when we, all right, I'm going to take over. We're going to pour this in. All right, here we go.
There you go.
Nice.
Can you please look at the veins coming out of my arm now? That's like a full workout. Oh boy.
I think when we eat something real, our mouth is like, oh yeah, that was real.
Right.
I don't need anymore. Yeah. All right, so we've got this all mixed up and really nice and frothy here. So I'm going to set this aside.
And we just pour it in the crust?
Yeah, well, first we're going to do something really cool because usually with a custard pie, you have to blind bake it, and that's a great practice, but it can also be a little tricky for the newcomer. So my foolproof method is to use just a little egg wash, and you want to egg wash the entire surface of your pie.
Okay.
And this is kind of a trick borrowed from quiche making, where you would do this with like a little egg and mustard.
I love this trick.
And it sets the bottom of your crust. And I also like it because this transparent pie is going to bake a little lower and a little longer than a lot of your traditional custard pies. So this makes sure that you don't over bake it in the blind baking.
Now, can you tell me something about the transparency? This does not look see-through to me. I don't know what you mean by that.
So transparent, I mean, you know, well observed. Transparent pie is a regional pie from Kentucky. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour this in.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure to leave a little room because it is going to puff up during baking and then fall down as it settles.
And I like that you put the extra sugar there.
Yeah, so we took a little large grain sugar, and I'm just putting it along the edges to really make it sort of sparkle when it comes out of the oven. So that's about all I want. It's about like a 1/4 inch of headspace, not a ton, but you know, I often feel like people struggle with the idea of less is more in baking.
Right. So where's the transparency?
So the transparency is actually going to...
You didn't answer. I know that you deflected that question.
So the transparency...
Where were you on the evening of? Did you feel like you're in court? Okay.
So the transparency is actually going to come when we pull it out of the oven. Because this has a lower fat content, when you cut into it and you look at the sides, it's going to kind of jiggle, like you said. But it's also going to seem a little transparent, like it goes to opacity rather than being like a flat color. So that's where it gets the name. And also a traditional transparent pie is a vanilla flavor, so that transparency is accentuated. And I put my own riff on making it chocolate, so it's a little less transparent.
Got it.
But
let's get it in here.
So we're going to put it in the oven.
What's the temperature?
It's at 375, and you're going to bake it for an hour. And then through the magic of television,
you're going to let it cool,
We're going to let it cool. You want it to cool overnight completely.
Oh.
And then
go ahead and watch this. Watch this, Rose. Watch. Shut it.
Really think ahead of time.
Watch. Open it again.
Open it again.
Shut it. Open it again.
I can do that all day.
I know, it's fun.
All right, so we've got our pie here, and as you can see, one of the great characteristics of a transparent pie is this sugar crack crust. I really want to make this like a viral hashtag, sugar crack crust.
Sugar crack crust. We'll do it today.
I mean, it's fun to say,
We'll
sugar
do it
crack
today.
crust.
Help you with that.
So there it is, and you see, and that what that lack of fat did was actually push the sugar to the top, and it gives us this really crackly crust, and then goo. So we're gonna cut into it because we have no self-control.
Let's cut it. No self-control. We want to see that transparency.
And we don't want you to have any self-control either.
Right.
And do you use sourdough for any of your crusts as well, or?
Yes. So I do in my bakery. I put sourdough into the crust and we let it ferment. Now, obviously, unlike bread, I'm not trying to get a rise out of the pie.
There you go. Well, it's cracked anyway. It's supposed to be the cracked crust.
Oh yeah. So
You
as
see it?
you can see how it's kind of shiny and a little kind of see that jiggle.
And it's jiggling.
Look at it go.